Coming to you live from the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios, it's the Cigar Pulpit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm the Bishop of the Burn, Nick, and today, I'm not going to lie, today I am flying by the seat of my pants. The month has finally caught up to me. The month of June, you know, I was concerned about this month going into it, and I talked with a couple people and basically kind of threw it out like, maybe I ought to go to one a month this month. Or one a week this month because you know, I'm super busy. I've got my son a lot this month for various reasons, and not that I'm complaining about that, for the record, but I've just got a lot going on, and it was one of those where I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to put the proper amount of time and effort into everything. And so I was like, maybe I ought to go to one a week. And, I didn't. I kept at it. And so far, so good. But man, I am hitting a wall today. You guys are getting a show, but this is going to be random, off the top of my head, almost like deep thoughts with Nick. You know, it's like you're just gonna get to know. It's gonna be very random, bullet point type topics today. Doing some house cleaning, talking about a few things that are, things that are on the mind. You know how it is sometimes when you're sitting around the lounge, you and the other guys. It's like there's no real point to the conversation. It's just like, hey, did you hear about blah blah blah? And next thing you know, you're talking about that for a little bit and whatever. It's very random. So that's kind of what today's going to be. But as always, we are going to be smoking a cigar. And the cigar of the day, I'm looking forward to because it's a new one to me. I am going to be smoking a JFR 20th anniversary. This is the Super Toro size, which is a 6.5 by 52. It is a box pressed with a pigtail. And this cigar features a Mexican San Andreas wrapper, Nicaraguan binder, and Nicaraguan filler. And the description of this cigar says that it features spice and rustic flavors with a nice bit of cocoa and leather. And that comes apparently from the wrapper. So we got that going on. So anyway, it's time to cut the cigar, and the official cutting is brought to you by 2guyscigars.com. That's the number 2guyscigars.com. Two Guys have been around for 40 years, and they are the trusted name in the cigar industry. Everybody knows Two Guys, but if you don't, please give them a try. You won't be sorry. Family-owned and operated, 2guyscigars.com does the very best to provide a great selection, fair prices, and excellent customer service. I bought this JFR 20th anniversary from 2guyscigars.com. So please go to 2guyscigars.com for your next cigar purchase. Tell them that the Cigar Pulpit sent you. And remember, that's the number 2guyscigars.com. And with that, it's time to go ahead and cut the cigar. Okay. So we're going to get this guy cut and lit. And then we're going to get into, Lord knows, I truly don't know where this episode is going to go. Because I have been all day long just thinking, what am I going to talk about? And it's going to go all over the place. So bear with me. Yeah, you get that cocoa-y leather that they talk about on the cold draw. It is definitely on the cold draw. A nice, kind of not super sweet cocoa, but it's present. It's there. So we're good. All right, well, while I light this guy up, let's do the greatest commercial you've ever heard.
Some say cigars are all the same. It's just not true. It's you I have to blame.
Well, I don't know, 'cause what I know, there is a cigar called Aladino. Corojo.
Aladino Corojo. Aladino Corojo. They say authentic, so we're not confused, while the others say it's a word that's just abused.
I guess that's so. They can't compete. At least I'm sure Aladino can't be beat.
Corojo. Aladino Corojo. Aladino Corojo. Aladino Cigars uses authentic Corojo tobacco from JRE Tobacco. This is the greatest commercial you ever heard.
Yeah.
Boy, right off the bat, the peppery spice hits you on this guy. Like, right off the bat in the smoking experience, I'm getting just that little tingle in the back of the throat that's just letting me know, yeah, there's some pepper to this guy. So, anyway, looking forward to smoking this. Not the biggest fan that they went with a box press, but, you know, whatever. It's my own personal preference there. So, first things first, I want to talk about, get the business out of the way, PulpitFest. PulpitFest 2025. Guys, general admission tickets are still available. If you missed the announcement in Tuesday's episode, and you missed the announcement on my Instagram and in the Parishioners group on Facebook, we do have Dave Garofalo and Ed Sullivan of the Cigar Authority and twoguyscigars.com coming out to PulpitFest. So not only are you going to be able to hang out with Renee Castaneda and Hector from Villiger Cigars and Justo Aroa and Trey Mack from Aladino, but also we have Dave and Ed from the Cigar Authority. So we're super excited about that. From there, like I said, tickets are still available. You can go online to eventbrite.com, buy your tickets, $35, and 30 of it comes back to you in in-store credit. So, you know, you're paying like $5 along with some taxes and fees to Eventbrite. So, like, honestly, it's a cheap date. You're going to get a lot of good stuff in the goodie bag. We're going to have games and all kinds of fun stuff for you to do. It's going to be a good time. You're going to enjoy it. It's in beautiful Palm Coast, Florida, down there at the Ash and Ale Lounge. It's August 22nd through the 24th in Palm Coast, Florida. It's going to be a great time. You're not going to want to miss it. Come down. And you're helping a local charity, Vincent's Clubhouse. They help out with kids with autism, and they help them get the education and support that they need. So, you know, you're not only smoking cigars, you're not only getting, you know, cash back to buy more cigars from your ticket price, you're getting to hang out with some really cool people, and you're getting to do a good thing for kids that need some assistance down in the Flagler County area down there in Florida. So, all in all, it's a win-win-win. Come down, hang out, party. You won't want to miss it. So, random thoughts off the top of my head. So, as you guys know, I've been watching what I eat, watching the waistline, watching the weight, you know, trying to get myself on track. The doctor and I, we've had some conversations and things of that nature. And, you know, I got to admit, I haven't really missed some of the foods that I thought I was going to miss. You know, I haven't had fast food, like what you would consider fast food. I haven't had fast food in over 2 weeks now. It's been more like 3. Hell yeah. I mean, shit. We're 3 weeks into June, so my first appointment with him was May 29th. So yeah, so you know, it's more like 3 weeks. And I gotta admit, my energy level is up, and I'm not finding myself tired during the middle of the day. You know, it's been nice. My sleep schedule is all jacked up, because I've been going to the gym at night, and I love the gym at night. There's something so relaxing about going up there and doing what I need to do when there's just nobody there. It's me, there's the guy working the front desk, and there's maybe a couple of other people in there. One night, it was me, the guy at the front desk, and one other person, and that was just brilliant. It was absolutely wonderful. I don't like going up there when it's busy, it's not that I feel intimidated, because I don't. And it's not that, like, whatever. I don't like the hustle. I don't like the bustle. I like to just go up there, do my thing, and leave. But it's been interesting, because some of these nights, when it's getting to be about that time that I'm gonna go, it's like, man, I could just go to bed right now, get a nice good night's sleep, and I don't. I go. So it's been positive. It's been good. So I'm holding myself accountable by involving you guys to the extent that I am, so that there's that level of accountability from you, because it's just one of those deals. But yeah, so but the gym's been nice. They have a room. They have like an area with like massage chairs and shit. I haven't used that yet. Technically, it's part of my membership. They've got some massage chair where there's like a like they put water. They like massage you with water, and everything. I don't know. I haven't tried it. I've heard about it, but I haven't tried it yet. Apparently, it's really nice. So there's that. But I've really just been doing cardio to start with, and we'll graduate up to bigger things as I get more involved and active into it, but it's been going well. I guess that's what I'm saying. I want to give everybody that update and say it has been going well. The schedule has been weird because, like I said, I've been going at night, and also, on the days that I have my son overnight, I can't go because he's asleep, and I'm not just going to leave him in his bed sleeping while I go up to the gym. That would be horribly irresponsible. But it's fine. It's good to take a little bit of time off, I guess. But I will say I've been catching up on various podcasts and stuff like that while I've been up there. Although, man, for those of you who listen to this show at the gym, I don't know if anybody listens to the show at the gym, but if anybody listens to the show at the gym, I don't know how the hell you do it, because I will freely admit, I've been listening to some podcasts while on the treadmill, and I can get through about half my workout with a podcast. But about the halfway point, I have to switch to some high-intensity music, because otherwise I am going to die. There's something about podcasts. They're just too slow-paced for me for the treadmill. I need fast-paced, upbeat music, and that comes into the second half of the workout. I'll also say what's nice is these treadmills have like little TVs on them, and you can watch whatever's on TV. So that's been kind of cool, because I can watch a movie while I'm on the treadmill while also listening to music. So it's like an all-around just giant multimedia experience. The movies have closed captioning because I can't plug my earpod or earphones into the thing. But to be honest, I think it would be kind of the same as the podcast. I think if I watched a movie, I think I would be not distracted enough to the fact that I'm working out, and I think I would concentrate on the fact that I'm tired and desperately want to stop. So it's been good in that regard, that I have the music and then I have the movie, and it's a whole lot of distraction, to where then when I look down at the timer on the treadmill, I realize that, I'm like, 3/4 of the way done with the workout. I've only got this many minutes left and all that. And so that's been good. I don't know. What else can we talk about? Yeah. I've started, I got a lot more cigars shifted from one humidor into the big humidor. So that humidor tour that I talked about on a previous episode, that'll be coming up soon. So where I'll show you my humidor and my cigar collection. I have a lot of singles. I moved a lot of boxes. I didn't realize how many boxes I had. I'm not saying this to brag, or to be like, look at me or whatever, but like, do you guys end up that way to where, like, how many of you end up to where you think you've got so many cigars, and the next thing you know, bam, you're looking at, and it's like, holy shit, I've got way more of these than I thought I did. I need to, like, slow down. But then when you go to look at the humidor and you're like, I need to smoke something, you're looking at everything and you're like, none of this is speaking to me. And then you end up going out and buying like 2 or 3 of something else in order for you to have what you want at that moment. And you're just sitting on this collection that just continues to grow and grow and grow. That tends to be my problem, I think. I have my ones I really enjoy, and then I have a whole lot of other stuff. And you can ask a couple of different people. I've donated a lot of cigars in the last, like, year, because I moved out of the duplex in July. So, year and a half, I'd say. In the last year and a half, I've given away a lot of cigars. And just ones that I just knew, I'm like, I'm not going to smoke these. And, I thought I had the collection pared down pretty well. And I do, but I may have to do some more. But then we're getting into stuff where it's like, no, I really actually do kind of want to smoke that one day. But it's like, have you gotten to that point where it's like you got to find the right moment for the right cigar? That when you sit down and you're like holding that cigar just needs that moment. And it's not that it's like a celebratory cigar to where it has to be. It's just sometimes you're just not feeling a Mexican San Andreas wrapper. Or sometimes you're not feeling a Connecticut. Or sometimes you're just not feeling like a football-shaped Perfecto or something like that. You got to figure out the right moment for that cigar. And then sometimes it's like, well, I would smoke that now, but I'm getting ready to go drive, and I don't really want to use that cigar in the car. I want to be able to sit and enjoy it. So now it's like, well, okay, we got to find the next moment that cigar is going to be relevant for. Picking the right moment for the right cigar, it doesn't sound like it would be that big of a deal, but at least for me, it tends to be kind of daunting at times. I don't know. Sorry, I'm keeping this guy lit, keeping this guy going. He's kicking off a lot of smoke when I draw off of it, but it kind of, the smoke tends to dissipate, and I'm kind of worried that it's going to go out, so you're going to have to bear with me a little bit there. So I'm working on getting the collection organized and everything so that we can do the humidor tour video, because I do think I don't know, maybe it's not going to be interesting to you, maybe it will be. It's not that I'm sitting on like a whole ton of like old and really interesting stuff. I mean, you guys know I started smoking in 2018. The show started in 2019. So, I've only been at this for, 7 years? 7 years? So, it's not like I'm sitting on anything like super ancient. Boy, speaking of timelines, I've had an interesting conversation going the last handful of days with Treymac. We have been struggling because of we're trying to assemble the timeline. And what I mean by that is he and I cannot remember when we met. Neither one of us can remember when we met. He thought it was in 2020. The first time he was on the show was February of 2021, and we couldn't think of a reason why it was that long between when we met versus him coming onto the podcast. He thought that he met me at One Cigar Lounge. I thought it was somewhere else. But to be honest, neither one of us have a clear recollection of the moment that we met. And so it's been very odd. It's been very, very odd trying to piece this together. And it's actually opened up a lot more rabbit holes that we've been going down. Like, well, do you remember when, you and your buddy recorded a football podcast at this One Cigar Lounge, And I was sitting there, and he's like, yes, I do remember that. And so maybe that was the moment. And then we're trying to figure out when was that podcast released. And, he's got to find that file and all this. But but the bottom line is what we have kind of come to the conclusion of is that our recollection of the COVID time, those like 18 months of COVID from, the beginning of 2020 through maybe mid 2021, boy, our timelines are all messed up. And have you guys experienced that to where, like, you sit back and you're like, man, I remember this happening, but I just don't quite know when it happened or something like that. And look, it could very well just be Trey Mac and I both, being guys in our 40s that all of a sudden have started having memory issues. But I don't know. It's like some things I can pinpoint down to the day, and then other things I truly, truly struggle with remembering. And I've actually on my own thought about, like, when the hell did I actually meet Trey Mac? That came up. It's just random thoughts. And he brought it up the other day, and I was like, that's funny you ask that, because I've been wondering that myself. And boy, we can't quite put our finger directly on the moment. So that's been going on. He blames shifting timelines, different dimensions and shifting timelines. I don't necessarily know what's that. In this case, I think the easiest answer is that he and I have just forgotten. But, there's that. What else? I put up a post in the parishioners group today. And basically what I asked was, do you guys have solo show ideas? Because here's the thing. I try my best to get guests booked, because I don't like doing the solo shows. Plain and simple, I will tell you right now, I don't like doing these. I like interacting with somebody. I like talking to somebody. I like having the back and forth. I like having the time to be able to smoke my cigar and not have it just be dead air. But sometimes the schedule is what the schedule is. Sometimes I'm busy with other crap, and next thing you know, it's recording day, and I realize, crap, I haven't scheduled anybody. It's too last minute for me to schedule somebody. I'm just going to have to suck it up and do this and go from there. And so, I check, I have some, every once in a while I come up with an idea. I check Chat GPT, and every once in a while Chat GPT has something interesting. Although, man, Chat GPT has some really just boring or off the wall ideas. Like, there was one that they were wanting me to, it was like cigar horoscopes, where I basically was trying to say, like, okay, Capricorns are like a padrone because blah, 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 blah. I have no idea. I'm pulling both of those out of my ass. And so, I don't know. That's one that, like, I expanded and I looked into, but I was like, man, this seems stupid. And I chose not to do it. It did come up with a Cigar Olympics idea. I think I did that episode with Noah. And truthfully, I do like that. I may have to go back and get some notes off of that. That might be something to do at PulpitFest. We might have the Cigar Olympics at PulpitFest. We could have the inaugural Cigar Olympics. And then next year, the second annual, because there's no such thing as a first annual. Anybody who says first annual, you're wrong. Yeah, I may have to do that. Anyway, but the bottom line is ChatGPT every once in a while comes up with something good, but to be honest, most of the time it's pretty stupid. Anyway, I was asking the parishioners for solo show ideas. And there's a couple of posts, there's some comments on there. I think some of you struggle with the idea of comprehension of what I'm asking, because, I asked for solo ideas and you're giving me things that require me to have a guest. And so, God love you. I appreciate the input, but I'm looking for something I can do totally by myself. But anyway, be that as it may, if any of you have some really good solo show ideas, something that I can put together and do on my own, on a day like today when I'm sitting back going like I have no freaking clue what to talk about, I'd say call the hotline, but that's not so much a hotline call. That's a email. So if you want, you can email me. It's Nick, N-I-C-K, Nick at cigarpulpit.com. Just Nick at cigarpulpit.com. Drop me an email. Shoot me the show ideas. I think I'm going to go ahead and be so bold as to say that the best show idea that I get out of this thing, I will send a little care package, little thank you care package to thank them for the ideas. So whoever sends me the best idea, make sure you include your name and mailing address in the email. And if you send me the best idea, then I'll send a little care package your way. Anyway, what else can we talk about? We can talk about a cigar. And I think I might be talking too much because I think the cigar may have gone out on me. So let's hit it with a little fire. So far, just in the very early smoking stages, the pepper is coming through on the smoking experience. Burn line, it's a rock fresh. Oh, the spice. Definitely on the retrohale. There's also that the description said rustic, and that is a really good description of it. It's kind of hard for me to pinpoint. It's almost like old house. It's not mold, but like you've got some pepper and spice and old house. And it's interesting. I like it. Or so far I'm liking it. I gotta say, with the JFRs, that would be the kind of more budget-friendly line that Aganorsa Leaf puts out, and JFR is just for retailers. It's their brick and mortar line, and they're very cost-effective, very cost-friendly. Like this anniversary cigar that I'm smoking, I'm trying to think. Well, here, I don't need to estimate off the top of my head. I can pick up my phone right now. And I can go to twoguyscigars.com and I can look up maybe come on JFR search JFR 20th. I am smoking the Super Toro. I paid $9.79 for this cigar, so under $10 for an anniversary cigar. That ought to tell you, that they're budget friendly right there. Because typically cigar companies like to charge a little bit more for an anniversary cigar. Because, typically they throw a lot of their really good, best stuff into an anniversary cigar. But this cigar, less than $10 for this guy. I usually go for the JFR, I think it's like a Corojo or Habano wrapper. One, and I dig the hell out of that one. But it's a round, and this one with this, it's a very hard box press on this one. It just feels very packed tight, and it feels very, very tightly packed. So there's that. Ooh, speaking of cigars, here's another off the top of my head, thing that I can talk to you about. I was hesitant to bring this up because I don't want to. One thing that I'm all about on the show is I want to celebrate cigars. I don't want to talk bad about any cigars. But I had a cigar recently that that there's been some interest in amongst some of the parishioners, and I wanted to give you my thoughts on it. So I smoked the Asylum Split Personality. And that would be the new Asylum Yellow Band Banana Split flavored cigar. And let me tell you, I'll give it that. It tasted like banana split. When you got it out of the cellophane, that aroma of banana hit you, and you're like, okay, this is banana split. But that's the thing. The split part comes in when you put the cigar to your mouth, and then also when you light it. You get not only banana, but you get this like kind of chocolatey flavor that goes along with it. It's married in there really, really well. And it's not like chocolate like you get from other cigars. It's like straight up chocolate Hershey syrup. It is a very syrupy chocolate flavor. I mean, it's Bosco, it's Hershey syrup, whatever brand you used back in the day, or currently. That's what it is. And so so I'll give it that. What it advertised in terms of flavor, it provided. It's a little bit of spice kind of crept in at about the halfway point. So that was kind of interesting. Maybe some of the flavor infusion got a little weaker at the halfway point to where then some of the tobacco, because look, it's tobacco. It's going to have a flavor of its own. You can try and mask it with banana split all you want, but like the tobacco itself is going to have a flavor. So there was a little bit of that crept in, but it was really interesting flavor-wise. Now, it didn't change. It was what it was. It was, I guess the only thing that changed is that, like I said, that little bit of spice crept in. What I smoked the Toro, and for the first half of it, I actually wasn't hating it. I enjoyed it. The flavor was good. It kicked off a ton of smoke. It did burn quickly. I'll tell you right now, flat out, for the Toro, my total smoking experience with that cigar, and look, I'm smoking a little slow now because I'm talking to you guys so much, but like, you know, for a Toro that size, I should have gotten a solid hour out of it. I got 35 minutes. 35 minutes. So it burned super quick. And I don't know if that was the infusion in it or what was going on, but it burned stupid quick. However, at the halfway point, for the one that I had, your experience may vary. I do have a second one in the house that I do plan on smoking at some point just to have a counterbalance, or at least, you know, be able to say whether or not this cigar, you know, I had a dud or something like that. But at about the halfway point, I had issues where the cigar kept wanting to go out. It was struggling to stay lit. It got very spongy, very spongy. It definitely felt underpacked. It felt under stuffed with tobacco. And by the end, I got down to, I'd say about, you know, inch and a half left of the cigar before I had to put it down, which is kind of quite a bit that I had to, you know, waste. But I had to do it because it felt so underfilled that every time I would take a puff on it, the body of the cigar, the you know, the length of it would get stupid hot to the touch. Like it was just smoldering in the center. But it wasn't like, you know, and that heat was radiating out to the wrapper. And so holding it or even just putting it to your lips was, you know, borderline painful because it was just so hot. And it wasn't because I was smoking it like so fast. Because again, I actually purposely slowed down my smoking because I noticed that this thing was burning rapidly and that I had only been smoking it for a short period of time. So that it was kind of a really interesting, bizarre experience. I at this point probably would not purchase another one. I bought two. but it's not my thing. But again, I struggle with even bringing this up because I don't like shitting on cigars. I take the approach of, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. In this case, though, I've talked with a number of parishioners, and you all have, for whatever reason, this banana split cigar has garnered a little bit more interest than your average everyday flavored and infused cigar. I don't know if it's just we all like banana splits or what it is, but like there's an interest in this one. And that's why, I went ahead and bought 2 of them so that I could do like a little review. So I guess that's my review, is that I probably wouldn't buy another. It felt very underpacked and underfilled, and I think that caused a lot of the issues. But that's neither here nor there. Flavoring wise, if all you care about is having a cigar that tastes like a banana split, you know what? It tasted like a banana split. But I also wonder if this is a problem with flavored infused cigars in other places, because I've had I've had some poor experiences lately with the well, not lately. I mean, I haven't done it like recently, but I say within the last year with the Fat Bottom Betty. That was, that I'd smoked maybe 2 of those in the last year, and I'd say that I back when I first encountered that cigar, way back when. Hell, I'm trying to think. It might have been, that might have been 2018 or 19 that I first encountered that one. And I really, as a relatively new smoker, it was something different. I liked it. I still have boxes of them in there. I mean, from when, when I bought them before. And so, I can appreciate a Fat Bottom Betty. It's not something I smoke on the regular, but maybe once every 6 months, just to like break up the monotony and have something completely different. But I'll say that I smoked some recently made, not 2018-19, but more recently made Fat Bottom Betties, and I had the same problem with the sponginess. And I'm wondering what's going on with these flavored infused cigars. I don't know. Do any of you guys smoke flavored and infused cigars on the regular, to where you can give me some sort of insight? Like, are you noticing, those of you who do smoke those regularly, are you noticing that maybe they're a little underfilled, or are you just going to tell me that I've had a few duds lately? Because it's not outside the realm of possibility that maybe I just was unlucky enough to pull like 2 Bettys and 1 Asylum split personality that just didn't quite, cut the mustard. But anyway, I don't know. That's something to consider. But yeah, I'd say that for those of you who were interested in the banana split flavored Asylum cigar, I'm not going to tell you not to do it, but I'm just telling you that my experience was, while not like catastrophic and horrific, it wasn't pleasant enough that I'm probably going to pursue it after I smoke that second one that's in the humidor. We'll see. I kind of doubt it, but anyway. Otherwise, I think that's probably, I think that's good. I think I've rambled on enough. I mean, you guys are being very patient for listening to my top of mind kind of ramblings here. So let's do this now. Maybe. It's time for the Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report, brought to you by
Villiger.
Villiger Cigars, one of the leading cigar and cigarillo manufacturers in the world, founded in 1888 and still family-owned and operated. Head over to VilligerCigars.com and check the store locator to find a shop near you that carries them. We guarantee that Villiger Cigars will be a wonderful addition to your humidor and cigar rotation. All right. So what have I been watching lately? I watched another episode of Stick on Apple TV. For those of you who didn't hear me talk about that for the first time, it's a show starring Owen Wilson. He is a former PGA golfer who you kind of gather had a little bit of a career flame out, and he finds this teenager who's like a phenom, and he kind of takes him under his wing, and he's going to guide him through the amateur and try and get his golf career going. And so it's got Owen Wilson, it's got Mark Maron, it's got there's like this kid's mom is along on the trip, and recently they picked up this girl that this kid is like super into. It's been a good show. It was kind of sold to me as like, if you like Ted Lasso, you'd like Stick. It's basically Ted Lasso, but golf instead of soccer. I don't quite know if I'd go that far. It's a little more gritty than Ted Lasso, but not gritty in a like unfamily friendly way. But it's been whatever. But I've enjoyed it. New episodes hit every Wednesday, and I think I'm 4 episodes in on. I don't think I've seen this week's yet, but I have enjoyed that. So that's been good. And I like Owen Wilson. He was kind of overplayed there for a little while, but it's kind of nice now that I've gotten a little bit of a break from him, because, man, it seemed like for the longest time, Owen and Luke Wilson were freaking everywhere. And I feel like it's been a minute since I've seen them in anything. And so it's kind of nice to reconnect, because, I like Owen Wilson as an actor. I think he's fun. I think he generally gets into fun activities, and he seems like an everyday kind of guy, at least in the roles that he picks. And so, I'm digging this show. The other thing that I watched, it was a 2-part documentary on Hulu called Call Her Alex. And it's all about Alex Cooper, who is the host of a very popular podcast with women called Call Her Daddy. And Call Her Daddy came out, I'm trying to think of when it came out. It probably came out right around, if not just slightly before, when I launched in 2019. So it may have launched in 2018 and whatever, but it hadn't been around too long when I launched. And when it launched, it was Alex and then her roommate, Sophia, and they were 2 women, and they were just very bluntly talking about sex and dating and life of single women in their 20s. And, the way it was kind of billed was, it was locker room talk, but for girls instead of, guys. And let me tell you, I listened to some of the early ones, and it was very, 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 very direct and blue. Like, it was like, holy shit, like, these women are talking about this. And it was interesting to see. But this documentary kind of chronicles her rise as this podcast personality. And I'll admit, as somebody who obviously has a podcast and is interested in things, related to the industry, and, maybe ways that she did something that, I could adapt and use here to, like, grow the show, promote it elsewhere or promote it around. I thought that might be something interesting to watch. And it was just a little too fluffy. It felt like it was a very vain documentary. I thought it was which I guess kind of, in my opinion, my personal opinion, kind of goes with her brand. I thought it was very vain. I thought it, was all about, look at me, I'm so great. Now, don't get me wrong. She did talk about how, like, when she was in school, she was picked on and bullied, and there were some interpersonal things. You did get to know a little bit about her life. But they kind of glossed over a lot of the business stuff, at least early on. Like, when she first launched, Dave Portnoy at Barstool found out about the show, and he ended up giving the 2 of them like a 3-year contract and all that. And there was a big blow up that took place there when they realized that their brand was growing so big that they wanted to branch out on their own, and Portnoy ended up offering a revision of the deal of like, do one more year with me, and then you can not only leave, but you'll take the brand with you. Like, you'll own the brand. You'll own Caller Daddy. And that resulted in a split up between the two hosts. Sophia went on her way. Whatever. No big loss. And then Alex kind of shifted the tone of the podcast from being this like super sexual locker room talk thing to almost this like personal, woman growing up in this time period and living in this time period. And so she would talk less about sex, more about like her going to therapy and, kind of various aspects of her life that way. And it became more personal and kind of less raunchy, apparently. I haven't listened in a long time. So I'll freely admit that I'm not up to date on it. But she started doing more interviews. I know she's done a lot of interviews. They did talk about when she interviewed Kamala Harris, and they had that on there, and how that was controversial because she really had avoided politics on her show. And she's like, look, what do I do? On one hand, I've avoided politics on my show. On the other hand, this is the Vice President of the United States coming and saying that she wants to be on my show. What do I do? And she ended up doing it. But it's just a very interesting. There were aspects of it that were interesting, but the parts that I was interested in were glossed over and kind of like minimized. And the parts that it was obvious she was interested in, which is herself, were more heavily emphasized. And I was like, well, okay. My big takeaway from it was, I guess sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, because, she came out with something, admittedly something that was different. She came out with a female hosted show that was offering that blue locker room talk like the guys do. And that was something very, very new. And it was something that did catch Dave Portnoy's attention. And it got her a contract, it got her something there. But I feel like it was one of those things where putting her on with Barstool, it kind of gave her a little bit of rocket fuel that then she got going with. And once you get a little bit of promotion and attention there, then she's saying all this like really like super shocking, controversial, sexy stuff. And the show kind of took off, and it just kept growing. And I'll give her credit for that. It's like the fact that you can have a show that continues to grow is really nice. Truthfully, I probably don't do a good enough job of asking you guys to help me out. With telling your friends, telling your other cigar listeners about the show. Maybe saying something in your lounge, like, about it, sharing it, on your various socials. I mean, God love him. I will give him all the credit in the world. My man Luke up there in Canada, every time I post something, I post a thing to Instagram saying that we have a new episode, he always shares it to his Instagram story. So, I got to give him a lot of credit for helping promote the show. I'll also give Noah a lot of credit. Every time he's on the show, he will promote the episode to his circle of friends on social media. Truthfully, I kind of wish that I've never asked a guest to do that. I've never said, to a guest, like, hey, I'm going to post this. Can you share it to your audience? I kind of wish they would, because, I don't know why you wouldn't, but it would be nice, if for nothing else, then for maybe the listeners of that cigar company, or the followers of that cigar company that are not currently listeners, it would be nice to have them come and try the show in case they're interested. So maybe that's something I need to do better with, is promoting the share aspect. So, maybe guys, do me a solid and tell a friend about the show so that we can continue to grow, because it would be nice. It would be good. But yeah, so all in all, it was an interesting little documentary about a fairly, successful podcaster. It just didn't give me the insight that I was maybe looking for, but maybe that's my problem, is I was going into it looking for the wrong thing. So anyway, that would be what I've watched lately. So now I'm going to touch up this cigar a little bit, give it a little bit more heat because I lost the flame. And we will do this. It's time to fly high with Blackbird Cigars. Blackbird Cigars offers you remarkable quality using the most delicate and finest tobacco to always ensure that you're receiving unsurpassed cigars. Blackbird Cigars strives to give you undoubted repeating flavor for every cigar you smoke and impressive quality so that you can always expect greatness. Check out their website for a full list of stores carrying Blackbird Cigars and give them a test flight. Blackbird Cigars, can't clip our wings. All right, so Chris Rosati was a marketing executive and father of two when he was diagnosed with ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, a terminal illness with no cure, and it was a devastating blow for him. But one day, shortly after his diagnosis, Chris had a wild idea. He wanted to steal a Krispy Kreme donut truck and drive around giving away free donuts to strangers just to make people smile. Of course, he didn't actually steal the truck. Instead, Krispy Kreme heard about the plan and loved it. They gave him a truck and all the donuts he wanted. He made the rounds, handing out free treats all over town. The story went viral, and that single act of whimsical kindness lit a fire. That lucky break, Krispy Kreme giving him the truck, led to a national movement. Chris founded a nonprofit called Inspire Media Network, which encouraged random acts of kindness. He launched the Big, B-I-G-G, Idea, Big Ideas for the Greater Good campaign, giving small grants to kids who had ideas to help others. Examples included students who created care packages for homeless shelters, kids who made books for hospitals, and school groups organizing community cleanups. Despite his physical decline, Chris became a public speaker, traveling and sharing his message of that you can't control what happens to you, but you can choose how to respond. Chris passed away in 2017, but by then he had sparked hundreds of small kindness movements all across the United States. So guys, be like Chris Rosati and Blackbird Cigars, and don't let anybody clip your wings. I didn't know Krispy Kreme had donut trucks. Krispy Kreme by me doesn't have a donut truck that I'm aware of, and I'm just like, damn, can you imagine that? Can you imagine? We got the ice cream man who comes by in the van and plays the music and all that, but I don't have a Krispy Kreme donut truck that comes by, which is probably for the best, quite frankly, but, that's a whole different thing. But, although, man, that ice cream truck is creepy as shit. Like, I don't know if you guys have the same one I do in your area, if you even have one, but it's this van, and there's not a lot of windows on this van because, it's covered up in all the promotion. But the menu boards are, like, slapped together with stickers and everything. It's really kind of creepy looking. And then this music it plays the, like, circus music. But then eventually the song stops. It's quiet for like a split second. And then you hear this weird voice just go, hello. And then it starts playing the song. And it's like, it's that part. It's the hello that's just the creepiest freaking thing when you're in your house and you haven't heard this music. And then all of a sudden you just hear from outside, hello. And it's just, I hate it so much. He was stalking my house pretty hard when I was moving in last July. I think I saw that ice cream man go by like 3 or 4 times over the course of like that month. And that felt like a lot. Felt like a lot to me. Like every time I turned around, it felt like the ice cream man was there. And maybe he saw a potential prime target Like maybe he's like, holy shit, this guy's moving in. I might have a whale customer, but I never bought. I've actually, I can only safely say I've bought from an ice cream man once. And it was a brilliant move on his part. I was at a 4th of July thing watching fireworks, and we're all in a parking lot. We weren't at the actual fireworks location. There was a bunch of us that were in like this insurance office, like a couple of blocks away. So that we could like watch it, get in the car, and make our escape real quick. We weren't in the park where everybody else was and going to be trapped forever trying to get out. And but this ice cream man had the brilliant move to come to this parking lot and try and sell some stuff. And everybody there bought stuff. And I will freely admit, I was one of them that bought something. So the one and only time I bought something from an ice cream truck was then. And apparently they take debit cards now. I didn't know that until that day. But I guess everybody has to figure out a way to take plastic now. Anyway, so, yeah. I still don't have a Pinky fun fact for today because she's on vacation. Her son is playing baseball, and I think maybe they're up in Nebraska or some crap like that. I don't know. But she's busy doing family stuff, but we're supposed to get together after she gets back sometime around the 24th. And so when we get together, I will have her record a whole ton of fun facts so that I am locked, loaded, and ready to go for more Pinky fun facts. But for now, I don't have one for you. But what I do have are my socials. I'm available on Instagram at The Cigar Pulpit. I'm available on Facebook, where we have the Pulpit Parishioners group. You can get in on the fun there. It's where I ask questions of the listeners and sometimes things like that. So, like, if you want to have maybe a little bit more input in the show or something like that, and you're not a part of that group, head on over to that group and take part. One thing I will note about that group, I did put up a post the other day. Facebook, for whatever reason, has been really stupid ever since they launched these like dumb little AI assistant robot things for these groups. I've noticed a couple other groups have gotten them. They kind of forced it on my group. They said, do you want this? And I ignored the request, and then they just did it anyway. So for what it's worth, ever since they put that on, a lot of posts that you guys have been putting to the parishioners group have been being flagged as spam, and I've had to go in and manually publish them to the thing. If for whatever reason you post something and it's a legitimate post, I will, and it doesn't post right away, just realize it probably was marked as spam, and I've been trying to check that about 3 or 4 times a day to, get them posted and everything like that, because I realize it's annoying, and I want you guys involved in the conversation and everything. So for if it doesn't post right away, just wait a bit, it'll get taken care of. I'm also on Twitter/X if you want to watch the show. It's available on Rumble and YouTube. Also on Spotify video for you Spotify listeners. You can either listen to the show or watch it on Spotify, and it's me in my garage talking to you, but it's something. And then I do need your calls for the Ask the Pulpit episodes. You can call the hotline at area code 863-874-0000. That's area code 863-874-0000. And drop me a line, comments, questions, whatever you got. I appreciate it. I already talked about PulpitFest tickets earlier, but it doesn't hurt to remind you that general admission tickets are still on sale at eventbrite.com. And then finally, just to recap, show ideas. You can give me solo show ideas. That would be fantastic. Email me those at nick@cigarpulpit.com. And the best solo show idea that I receive, they'll get a little gift pack in the mail. So make sure you include your name and mailing address in the email. Otherwise, final thought on the cigar. As I'm creeping right up to the end of the first third here. It's good. It's smoking a little. It's definitely smoking slow. I'll give you that. For the price point on this thing, you definitely get a lot of time out of it. Flavor-wise, boy, it delivers what it promises. You get that earthy, spicy component off the smoking experience. That wrapper does add a little bit of leathery kind of sweetness to it. Not like sweetness, but like kind of cocoa-y sweetness. And so that comes into play. It's a good cigar. I'm digging it. I probably would have liked it better if it was in the round. Personal preference. It's just me. But such is life. I'm not making every cigar. So, if it were up to me, I probably wouldn't have box press cigars. So, for those of you who like box press, you're probably happy that I'm not in charge of every cigar. But it's smoking well, and again, for the price point, it's a wonderful cigar for the price point. So, I dig it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. I apologize if this was kind of a rambly, mess of an episode, but for the life of me, I was banging my head against the wall trying to come up with something for you. And I'm gonna take a little time this weekend. I have my son again this weekend, but hopefully there'll be a little bit of time that I can sit and kind of get some things. I need to get some things scheduled out and planned out so that there's a little bit more organization to some of these, because I've burned through some shows. I was doing really well. I was ahead of the game. I was doing fine. And now I am right back to where I'm at, and so I need to put a little bit of time into scheduling. So I'll get to it. It'll be fine. We'll make it happen. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for taking time. This has been another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm Nick. Stay safe and stay smoky. Take it easy, everyone.